I want you to imagine two best friends, young. I'm talking about kids or teenagers. Hopefully we've all had that experience in our childhood where we kind of made our first friend. Especially if, a bit older, like our first proper friend that we had, maybe in our younger teenage years, where we never really knew how amazing it was to have a friend. We spent our whole lives until that point being a bit silly, being a bit self-absorbed. And then suddenly we make a friend and we didn't realize how exciting life could be. Every day we wonder what they're doing, when we're going to see them next. Whenever we have to depart from them, we cry, we beg our parents. We look forward to the whole day spent with our friend, nothing but our friend, just going around, exploring the world, playing games, having adventures. Now, these two friends get a little bit older, and the more mature of them, the wiser one, has an interesting remark. He says, I've been learning recently about hormones and instincts and, the cycle of life, and our friendship, I'm not sure it's real. I'm just not sure. Maybe it's just the hormones. We were both young. We were both primed to have a friend, to have this excitement, this infatuation that friends have, that teenagehood brings because of all the hormones and everything. It's almost like we were programmed to be friends. How are we supposed to know that this friendship is real? How are we supposed to know that we would have been friends even if we hadn't had the hormones? Maybe we're not supposed to be friends. Maybe it's just all an accident. It's a happy coincidence. We just happen to be well matched and have gotten along. Maybe we shaped each other and that's why we get along. I don't know if this friendship is authentic and real. Are you and me soulmates? Are we meant to be friends? And is my friendship and my love of you real, authentic, and vice versa? The other friend thinks about it and he says, well, I know in my heart that you're my best friend in the whole world. I love you with all my heart. I will do anything for you. I'd even die for you. So for me, I'm happy to just continue like this. What's wrong with it? Why do we have to ask these deep questions? And the other friend realizes that he's not going to get through to him. So he says, all right, well, why don't we just do it? I know a doctor and he can make us forget that we were ever friends. Let's see what will happen. Let's go have the operation. And, we'll write a little note that reminding us that we were once friends. And then, now that we're older, there'll be no hormones to get in the way. Let's see if we can rekindle our friendship. So the second friend says, all right, why not? Let's give it a go. I'm sure we'll be best friends. So they go through the operation, but secretly, the wise one doesn't. Because he knows in his heart, because he understands what it means to have an authentic love, that he has an authentic love for his friends. He's overcome his hormones a long time ago. And that's kind of the reason why he brought it up, because he wanted to make sure the other guy felt that way too. So he doesn't get the operation. But he does tell the doctor, give me a device or a code word that can reactivate the memories whenever I want. Now, the friend comes out of the operation. He doesn't recognize the guy. And the other guy acts. He says, he's been through the operation as well. He says, look, it says here that we were best friends. And we went through this on purpose to see if we'd be good friends again. Now, the guy who didn't go through the operation, the wise one, he decides that he's not going to force the issue at all. He is going to be nothing but passive in this whole experience. He's going to be reactive. If the other guy wants to get closer, he will reciprocate and he'll get closer. If the other guy wants distance, he will allow it and give distance. And he will play along just because he's super concerned about the authenticity of the experiment. He really wants it to work. So he uses all his wisdom to ensure that there's not the slightest drop of force applied to the friendship at all. He leaves it all in the other guy's hands. Eventually, after a while, because they are soulmates, they become friends again, authentically, as adults, mature, and through wisdom, through learning about friendship, through really applying, doing the right things, serving each other in a holy, pure, altruistic way, and genuinely rekindling a deeper, more authentic love for each other. At least on the part of the one who didn't have that already. At that point, the wise one says, I have to tell you something. I have a code word that the doctor gave me. When I say it, it will reactivate all your memories and you remember our original friendship as well. And at that point, the one who did go through the experiment, through the operation, says, actually, I've come to see the value and wisdom in this. I don't want to ruin it yet. Give me more time. I think we can become closer in this authentic way that you have orchestrated. And thank you for orchestrating this, and I really appreciate it. And I would like to continue. And the first friend says, fine, I like that. That's fair enough. I'd like to continue this as long as we can. But I want to point out that, we should have those memories back if we can. That's part of our story. That's part of our friendship. We should know. And we should also have that, that intense, infatuating love that we used to have. This authentic, real love is stronger, more powerful, more eternal. But it should also be associated with the depth of feeling that we had as giddy teenagers, as giddy children when we first became friends. So why can't we have both? I'm going to set a limit. And then one day, let's say on the 5th of August, 2029, I'm going to say the word and we're going to have our friendship back. And by the way, I want you to know I never went through the experiment. Whatever. That bit doesn't matter. But this is a mashal. This is a mashal for the mystical tradition of Judaism's answer to why Hashem sent the soul down to the world. We as souls were living in the highest of heavens for all eternity. And we were literally basking in the light of Hashem's greatness, glory, beauty, goodness, perfection. We were nourished by it. That's what's sustaining our very lives. We could feel it. We could feel this intrinsic love for God. Just like a best friend has an intrinsic love for his best friend. And, we like that. We were happy to be like that. We felt that was fine. Why not? It was pure Gan Eden. It was Eden. But Hashem, in his great wisdom, knew that there's a value in having an authentic love. A love that is not forced in the slightest. It comes from effort. It comes from authenticity. It comes from the depths. And I will be talking a lot about authentic love. So I'm not going to discuss that now. But for the sake of the mashal, you can understand what's going on here. Hashem said, no, I'm going to send you down to earth where you're going to forget about me. You're not going to be able to see me in the same way that you've seen me before. I will not be this gorgeous, exciting friend of yours that you naturally are drawn to and just want to, be with forever. I don't want you to be loving me just for my beauty, like every woman says to her husband. I want you to love me really. I want you to love me. And the way you do that is by getting away from me for a bit, so you're not blinded by my beauty. And instead, talk to me. Learn my Torah. Learn about me. Get to know me. And fall in love with me that way by knowing who I am. So that's exactly what happened. Hashem sent us down to this world. And it took us a while. Avraham came along, rediscovered Hashem. The friendship became authentic at that point. And then Hashem revealed to him that, all the secrets of the Torah, including the mystical secrets about the souls. And he told him that, you were in love with me for all eternity, but I've sent you down here. And Avram said, great, what can I do down here? Hineni, I'm here to do whatever you want to make sure that we do exactly what your wisdom has moved me. I agree. I want to come close to you down here. It's better to come close to you down here because it'll be more real, it'll be more authentic, it'll be more oneness than it otherwise used to be. And Hashem said, okay, fine, but it's only going to be for 6,000 years because the true delight of my face isn't something I want to hide from you forever. I just want you to appreciate me for who I am. And then that love, that friendship that we're going to have for all eternity, the eternal state of Dvekut that we're going to be with Hashem in Eden, in Olam Haba, for all eternity, according to the Ramchal, according to the Lubavitcher Rebbe, according to the mystical tradition, will be so much better. So much better than you can have possibly imagined. So let's take the time, let's spend time together in this low world, becoming authentic friends. You learn the Torah, I'll look after you, we'll have this amazing relationship as a God and his people. And then one day, the curtain will be lifted, and we'll have a proper chuppah, we'll get married, truly get married, out of authentic love, not just infatuation. but the infatuation will be available as the reward. That's the secret of life. That is what's going on right now. So take advantage of the time that you have to learn Torah, to get to know Hashem. The whole point of learning Torah is, believe it or not just to improve you. The point of improving you is so that you can get closer to Hashem than ever before, so that you can love Him and know Him. Because I can assure you, once you see Him, you're going to fall in love with Him. Of course you are. He's literally the source of all goodness. You know, nobody eats a bad ice cream, they only eat a good ice cream. Goodness, everybody agrees goodness is good. There's some very twisted people, I guess, in the world that don't like goodness. But obviously that's, you know, a neurosis. That's a pathology of some kind. The truth is, goodness, everybody agrees, is the right thing, is what we all want. So I'm assuring you, whether you believe it or not, in fact, the fact that you don't believe it shows that Hashem is hiding very, very well. But logically, the source of life, the one who's animating you, who's giving you your power, who's putting the thoughts in your head, the love in your heart, who is perfect, who is eternal, who is greater than we can possibly imagine, of course we're going to love Him when we see Him. And He doesn't want us to see Him. That's what we tried to do at Har Sinai. We said to Moshe, Ratzonenu lirotz malkeinu. We wanted to see our King. And Hashem said with a chuckle, that's very nice, but I'm going to decline for now. I want them to hear me. And so He spoke the 10 Commandments. We heard His voice. He gave us the Torah, which is His love note to us, which is His soul in writing. Every word of Torah teaches us about Him. Get to know Him. Listen to Him. Fall in love with Him for who He is, not for what He looks like, if that makes sense. Okay? Hashem is being sneers, so we should be sneers. We should emulate Him, and that is how we get to know Him on a visceral level. And we become like Him, so that when we are with Him for all eternity, we like Him in as similar a way as we can be, because similarity brings closeness, especially in spiritual matters. But that is, again, another point that I want to go to at length in other videos. So I hope you've enjoyed this mashal. Hope you get it. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. I would relish questions, and I absolutely love feedback. So feel free to just let me know if you're enjoying my videos. I'm not going to press you to subscribe or like or anything like that, but just for my sake, I love feedback, especially positive feedback, but I also am open to, you know, well-meaning critical feedback as well. Okay? Kol tov.